After spending over 5 months in Arizona for the winter, springtime was upon us. We were still in the midst of a patchwork of varying COVID-19 stay-at-home orders across the country. Traffic on University Drive was light. The summer heat arrived early in the Phoenix Valley, with the first 100-degree day of 2020 occurring on April the 26th, which is nearly a month earlier than usual. The forecast was for more of the same heading into early May, so it was time to head back east to my summer home in Pennsylvania. But with the stay-at-home orders in place, there were minimal opportunities for sightseeing on the return trip. So I decided to make a beeline trip back east with only a few stops along the way. Because I'm self-contained in the motorhome, I felt confident that I could make the trip with little risk, as I would only need to purchase fuel and to set up at a couple of campgrounds. So, on Monday, May the 4th, I left Phoenix and took a southern route on Interstate 10 through Tucson to begin my trip east. I headed up out of the valley on Interstate 10 to Las Cruces, New Mexico, and took US 70 out of Las Cruces to Alamogordo. I stopped at a scenic overlook just outside Las Cruces and shot some video. I continued on and stopped for the first night in Alamogordo at the Boot Hill RV Park.
Cornelia, you are one who will survive. When time's been bad, you put smiles on everyone.
One of the best things about this RV park is that it's right across the street from the Pistachio Tree store. Before departing the next morning, I stopped in right after they opened and stocked up. The first day was 469 miles. The second day of the trip was 341 miles to Amarillo, Texas. I took US 54 out of Alamogordo, which eventually joins with Interstate 40 in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. This is a pretty decent road that varies between 4 lanes, 3 lanes, and at times only 2 lanes. It's a long, slow climb and reaches nearly 7,000 feet in elevation. There's about a 20-mile section of 2-lane road about in the middle of the trip that is really bumpy and low-quality tarmac, but otherwise the bulk of the route is in pretty good shape.
Don't you agree? With beating hearts, we're still alive. There comes a time when all you have is who you love. And Cornelia, you'll be all I'm thinking of.
For the second night of the trip, I stayed at Amarillo Ranch RV Park. This park is associated with the Big Texan Steakhouse. Unfortunately, due to the stay-at-home orders, the restaurant was only open for takeout and delivery. That didn't sound too appetizing to me, so I decided to pass. I'll be sure to patronize them when I return to Arizona this fall. The third day of the trip was 362 miles to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I spent the night at Mingo RV Park just outside of Tulsa. The fourth day of the trip was 412 miles to visit with some friends who live just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. I mooch-docked in their driveway for 3 nights. We had a great visit. We did some planning for a few upcoming trips in the RVs later this year. I can't wait to take you along on those adventures. On Sunday, May the 10th, I said goodbye to my hosts and headed out for 381 miles to Columbus, Ohio. This was the first travel day that I encountered some rain on the trip. I stayed overnight for free in a Cracker Barrel parking lot. This particular Cracker Barrel has about 8 spots in the rear of the restaurant designed for RVs and buses. It was Mother's Day, and the restaurant was open for takeout and delivery only. I ordered some food, and after the restaurant closed at 7:30, I had the parking lot to myself for the night. On Monday, May 11, I headed out for the final leg of the trip, 192 miles to my summer home in western Pennsylvania. It was a bit windy and stormy that morning. I tried to film my departure from the restaurant parking lot, but this happened. Thankfully, nothing was broken, but I decided not to try my luck a second time. I just gathered up the camera and headed out. Thanks for coming along for the ride. In a week's time, I traveled a total of 2,157 miles through 3 time zones and exchanged high temperatures of 100 degrees in Arizona for highs of only 50 degrees in Pennsylvania. But the trees here are just starting to fill out. Springtime smells and sounds are in the air, and the temperatures are on the rise. I've got some more video projects in the works, so stay tuned for those. I'll see you in the next one.